the failure of the decade-long policy of engagement with Tehran, reflected in the latest round of talks in Almaty, it is now time to direct all efforts toward democratic change in Iran.
Thank you for inviting us here, and Mrs. Hamsani, congratulations to you on this very important occasion, which will hopefully lead someday to the restoration of democracy and the rule of law in the wonderful country of Iran, where the people deserve so much better than they're getting. As Lee Hamilton pointed out in one of our recent appearances, who can disagree with the 10 points that Mrs. Rajavi, that what we're about is to reverse a series of wrongs and make them right. The first one that was reversed was the delisting. That took an exceedingly long time, but it was achieved. The second wrong that should be righted is the aftermath of the move from Camp Ashraf to what we call Camp Liberty, which I have a hard time using that word in connection with the conditions that the people who live in that camp are being subjected to, not only physically, but psychologically, emotionally, and from a humanitarian basis alone. It is wrong, and it should be righted. And countries like ours all over the world should rally and send a clear, unequivocal message, not only to Tehran, but this kind of behavior is unacceptable. An attack on that camp is unacceptable. It's unacceptable at Ashraf. It's unacceptable at Liberty. And you can't help but think these so-called explosions this morning are not just accidental. They're definitely timed to send a statement to what they know is going on at this very moment in Washington. And that means they're paying attention, and if they're concerned about it, then that's good. We absolutely have to stay together on this. I'm quite convinced that if we do, we'll be successful of a much longer struggle that has immediate consequences in terms of people's lives and well-being, and long-term consequences in terms of trying to create a better future for the people of a great nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and congratulations. It's a great day to have this office open here in Washington. It has been a long struggle to get to this point where the NCRI and others can now carry on a campaign really here in the United States to further their efforts to get representative government in Iran. And it has been a real honor for me over the past several years to speak out to get the delisting accomplished with a distinguished bipartisan group, a rare event in Washington. So important why in Iran we have to have the possibility of the people exercising their sovereignty, the only source of legitimacy for government in the world, and why among the many other attributes of the work that the NCRI has done, how important it is to have a declaration that they want tomorrow's Iran to be nuclear weapons free.
So many people to thank today to make this extraordinary day possible, but it starts with a leader who refused to accept an injustice, and despite what it took in time and effort and commitment, was determined to see this battle through, to have the National Council properly represented in Washington. And I refer, of course, to Mrs. Rajavi. I'm not certain how many people are following us today, but the road to a free Iran, which changes not only the future of the Iranian people, but the region, in some ways the world, runs through this office. Make no mistake, it starts at Ashraf and Liberty, with those brave souls who refuse to give in under threat of their own lives, who dream of a free Iran and are prepared to pay the price to get it. They have my highest admiration. People in Liberty, stay true. We will get you safety and we will get you security. Until then, your determination to remain there with your friends and family until they too are safe has our highest praise. And with all of you, I commit to return to this office again and again and again to bear whatever burden is required, whatever time is necessary, until we all live to see a free and a prosperous Iran. Congratulations.
I just wanted to say that the Congresswoman will continue working along in a bipartisan basis with her colleagues. Overwhelming support to bring freedom and democracy to Iran. The Iranian people deserve freedom and democracy, and I know that she will continue working hard to make sure that that day comes, as the ambassador said, very, very soon.
From now on, the people of Iran will have an embassy in Washington, D.C. that will speak for their interests and the causes and cares of their people. Most importantly right now, the people trapped in Camp Liberty and Ashraf, who are seeking to be guaranteed their rights under the Fourth Geneva Convention, promised to them by the United States of America. So this office will be the standard bearer of the message that the United States must keep true to its word and provide protection and safety for the political refugees in Liberty and Ashraf. It's entirely inconsistent for our country to say we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon and we want to change Iran, and yet not be for the main democratic opposition, whose main purpose, as you've heard Madam Rajavi say again and again, is a constitution very much like our own.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here. It's a great day, certainly, for the NCRI to be here. And I'm very heartened by the remarks of my distinguished predecessors. 10 years ago this summer, I was the tip of the spear for American foreign policy in Iraq. And so today, when I see what is happening at what is wrongfully called Camp Liberty, what I see is happening to the residents of the Mujahideen, I'm extremely disheartened. America had an obligation then, and in my mind, that is a responsibility that continues. We declared under the Geneva Convention that they were protected persons. At what point does that obligation cease? And so in 2003, when I assumed the mission of protecting the Mujahideen in the deserts of Camp Ashraf, in my mind, that obligation continues. And so I hope to see it's very heartening to see the bipartisan U.S. Political support for this mission, and I hope to see great success. And as was stated earlier, not just for the 3,500 Mujahideen at Camp Liberty, but for the entire population of the great nation of Iran. Thank you so much.
This is as much a victory for your continued efforts as it is for those who have worked here so vociferously and so hard and so successfully. So I want to at least take this moment to congratulate you, those who have supported this effort through thick and thin, for all of the hard work that you have done that has been undertaken by the community. But they deserve our congratulations, and I congratulate them. Thank you.
And of course, we're here because there is yet another, policy option, which is democratic change, in Iran, and this is the toehold, to develop, that potential policy option, and it's significant that now we have another voice for the Iranian people, as Patrick was talking about, that the voice for the Iranian people on a global stage is Maryam Rajavi. So this is what gives us hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This is a significant accomplishment, long overdue. And I think when change comes, not if, but when change comes to Iran, it will be the NCRI, the MEK, that implements that change. And as Madam President has already pointed out, the tenets that you propose to be implemented in a new Iran mirror exactly what our country has always stood for.
I wanted to add just one thought, which has been alluded to by others, and that's this, that in addition to whatever prospects this office represents for the change, ultimate regime change in Tehran and change in U.S. policy toward Iran, I think it also represents an enormous benefit and enormous achievement on behalf of the American people as such. So congratulations to the organization, congratulations Suna in particular, and this is a great day. We're all delighted to see it come.
Well, congratulations. It's a marvelous day. Perhaps, though, I should explain John Bolton. The reason John Bolton is now enamored with Hillary Clinton, has to do with this organization. And what became apparent to me as I was watching Madam Rajavi speak just now was, despite the enormous difficulties, despite the enormous hardships, there's absolutely no rancor. There's no sense of recrimination. And to me, it's amazing that despite these tribulations, you have the moral fiber to continue to be so positive, to keep your eye on the ball. And the ultimate ball, of course, is freedom. Freedom for the people of Iran from the tyranny that they are subjected to.
For me, it's again a circle come round, because I first became aware of the problem of Ashraf when I was motoring down Lake Geneva on the way to the Human Rights Committee at the United Nations, and then, of course, became very much read into the dilemmas and problems and the violence that the movement faced. And I do think that movements evolve, they gain their voice. And this block, 17th and what are we, K? We're half a block from the White House. It really is, in fact, the center of town. And I do think that you'll gain much more attention than